Can Linux mount a normal Time Machine sparse bundle disk image directory? I am looking to see if Linux can mount and read the files natively stored on a time capsule over a network share. Like this question, I am looking for something that replicates at least read-only function of Tootle to attach and then mount a sparse bundle disk images. The SMB mount is easy since the time capsule shares using both AFP and SMB, but I'm not so sure the sparse disk bundle can be mounted as the reconstituted HFS Plus directory. Bonus points for a working mount command or pointer to the appropriate package that parses this DMG format. In case it's not clear, this is how the band files look to me when mounted from a Mac in terminal and what I expect Linux to see without the ability to mount the actual file system that is encoded in a multitude of binary band files.
Newer macOS versions don't use HFS Plus as an underlying FS for Time Machine's sparse bundle, but uses apps instead. The advantage of apps is that it natively, as in, inside the FS itself, supports snapshots. Here is a complete tutorial, tested and working on Fedora Workstation 33, on how you can mount a macOS Time Machine backup folder on SMB, then mount the sparse bundle, then mount the apps file system and access all snapshots. How to mount a Mac Time Machine backup sparse bundle directory on SMB as a browsable file system on Linux. This guide was tested on Fedora 33. Prerequisites. We need sparse bundles to mount a sparse bundle directory as a DMG disk image. Also, we need apps fuse driver and user space utilities to mount the Mac apps partition inside the DMG file. With the apps util binary, we can even browse the snapshots inside the apps partition. Script. Create a file, mount_timebackup.sh, containing the following. Don't forget to chmod +x. Usage. Edit the mount_timebackup.sh file and put in the SMB path, username and password. Then, run the script. It will show something like this. Unmounting.
You may use a combination of these two. Fuse file system for reading Mac OS sparse bundle disk images. This URL. Apple's Time Machine Fuse read-only file system. This URL. The first takes care of the sparse bundle format, presenting it as a DMG file, which can then be mounted like normal. The second takes care of the directory hard links used by Time Machine.
This is an extension to the answer by a Torn of Esper. Once you have installed this URL, and this URL, you need to run the following script in bash. Make sure to update the two variables at the beginning to be the source and destination. The final mount will be accessible by you, as long as $TM_MNT is accessible to you. The final line may fail if Fuse is not set up to allow other user. It tells you how to fix it. To unmount, you need to do the following. This was tested on a Fedora 28 system and is working well.
The above post from Alexandra Bike provides a Linux?Unix program that will open a Time Machine sparse bundle stored on a Mac formatted HFS plus disk or disk partition, allowing reading of the files on a Linux server. Getting it set up isn't for the faint-hearted. It's written in C++ and requires 3 C++ libraries, Make, Fuse, and Boost, with certain minimum versions, which may not be default latest versions. For my Ubuntu Server 10.04, it also requires finding and installing a G++ compiler, and the above libraries. I use Ubuntu Server 10.04, and am not much of a programmer. However, after a fair bit of work and time, I did manage to install all the necessary libraries, compile and link the TMFS package, and use it. It does work, allowing mounting a Time Machine time capsule. However, It does require that the disk on which the sparse bundle image is written be an HFS plus disk or partition. It won't work if the image is written on an NTFS or ext2/x3/ext4 file system on a Linux server. As of Apple's OS X 10.7, Lion, Time Machine, sparse bundle images will no longer work if mounted on a Windows, SMB/Samba, Linux share, and it's necessary to run Linux/Unix Metatalk, UF plus Avahi daemon services to use Linux as a Time Machine server. I've done a lot of looking for another solution. I suspect that a Linux/Unix C++ programmer could do better than have I, extending Alexandra Bike's work to allow the use of ext4 or NTFS file systems. I'm trying to figure out how to do it, but have a long way to go. I think it will require that I understand much better the fuse, user space file system, and perhaps the boost column file system development helpers in order to move forward.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.